Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me out today. Hey, hi. How are you guys? So I'm originally a Midwesterner, and when I moved out to California, my wife and I settled in Pasadena. So I'm very familiar with the San Gabriel Valley, so it kind of feels like home. So thank you, guys. Anybody here familiar with modular or prefabricated construction, or have maybe sold? Okay, couple hands. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start and talk a little bit about who we are as Plant Prefab, do a little bit of an overview on prefabrication, show some install shots, then leave time for questions about our maybe building methodology, how it fits in your market, and we'll kind of play it from there. Sound good? Awesome. So Plant Prefab, what are we all about? We want to make it easy and efficient to build single and multifamily urban homes that are healthy, sustainable, and durable. If you can imagine how many hours and board meetings it took to come up with that one sentence. To describe who it is and what we do. We want to empower architects and developers to do the custom design for your clients built better. Plant Prefab is a manufacturer. We also have a design studio called Living Homes, which comes into this. So Plant Prefab was founded in 2016, spun out of Living Homes, which has been around since 2013. And they are one of the nation's leading sustainable design firms. We are looking for individuals and developers looking for dependable, time and cost-efficient solutions for the construction of their custom, high-quality, single and multi-family homes. We have a 62,000 square foot facility in Rialto, which is kind of in between here and Palm Springs, where we do all of our manufacturing and fabrication. And we are currently on track to produce 165 modules this year. And if you think about it, every home is between 4 and 7 modules. So for homes that we're going to be producing in that factory this year. In October of last year, we took some private investment from a group called Obvious Ventures and a small little tech startup called Amazon. And so we are very much a startup. We are scrappy, we are nimble, we are efficient with how we're scaling and growing into ourselves as a company. So prefab is an industry term that covers a lot of different building methodologies. So if you look on the chart up here, on one side we have everything from factory, and on the other side it's more site built. And so when people hear prefab, most times they think of manufactured homes. Mobile homes, things on something for HUD code that can't be affixed to a foundation. This is not what we do at Plant Prefab. We do modular construction, which you think of big Legos. And so this is framing, this is finishes, and we like to deliver the house up to 90% complete. So that's fixtures, floorings, that's siding, depending on what the scope of work of the project is for your client. So modular, the Legos come together and get stitched together on site. Panelized is basically structural walls, where you have some electrical, maybe some plumbing, mainly just insulation, and the walls are clicked together, then all the interiors are finished on site. And then kit homes are, here are the parts, you put them together on your site. So from manufactured to kit, all of those fall under the prefabrication umbrella. So why would you want to use modular construction for your site? We reduce time by 30 to 50% on your build. So if you notice the site build construction schedule, you've got your design and engineering, your permits and approval from the local municipalities, your site development and foundations, and then you're able to do your vertical construction. That's when framing goes up, and then after that, your site restoration. With modular, we call it parallel construction. So design takes what it takes, permitting takes what it takes, but while your site work is being done, your foundations, your utilities, the MEP, we are building your vertical construction in our factory. And so you're picking up that time, and especially with developers that are doing multifamilies, this can be a huge cost savings for carry costs on their investments. Right now, it takes us about 3 months to manufacture a 2,000 square foot single family home. So we're a painkiller for individuals that want to do their own custom homes because they're accustomed to long prices, cost increases, schedule uncertainty. There's a lot of predictability and a lot of efficiency in working with a factory to build the homes. And with a small developer, we pick up speed, 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 speed to get their product in the ground quicker. So why would you want to use modular construction or us as plant prefab? First of all, quality. Because we're a factory, we're able to have quality control and quality assurance measures that on-site construction just simply can't do. We have all of our jigs that for our floors and our roofs and our framing. We use stronger materials because of the transportation. We're using 2x6s instead of 2x4s for framing. And we have a cross-trained staff that are dedicated to the projects in our factory. So cost, I know this is the big question on everybody's mind when it comes to modular and prefabrication is how much savings can I have? So typically it's about 10 to 20% on the project depending on what materials you're choosing. But more importantly, we have fewer cost overruns and we have a much more predictable cost schedule during the build process because everything is defined in the specification and scope of work beforehand. Without weather concerns, we're going to have a much faster build. And also inspection. So modular construction is actually certified by a state third-party agency. And so all of the vertical construction, we use a company called Radco. And so they're going to be the ones that do all of the inspections and permitting of the vertical. And it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get everything permitted. And then once it arrives on your site, the local municipality cannot discriminate, cannot open up your walls. They have to accept the permitting from Radco once it arrives. Predictability. Highly detailed specs equals less production time. We want to make sure that your build goes as fast as possible. For us as a company, health and sustainability are core tenets to who we are. So we're always going to be using the healthiest materials, non-toxic paints, stains, and as well as having less construction waste and the most sustainable materials that we can have. Now for developers, we are open to their own specifications. So if they have materials that they want to help keep costs down, we are a custom builder, and so we are happy to use the material specifications from the developers you're working with. Customer service, that's our team out in Santa Monica. By the way, I am not that tall in compared to everybody else. It's just a weird perspective. This is my friend Sharon. He's 6'4", and he just happens to be slouching down in that photo. And so I like to give him grief over that because I'm like, oh, you know I use this in all our presentations, and you look like you're way shorter than I am.
Can I make it?
Yeah.
By the way, I got that photo of him on the bulletin on Facebook. So I'm glad you were taller than everybody else, so I was able to cut you.
You can crop out from under one of our project managers.
Just for your information.
That's awesome. So whether you're working with our design studio Living Homes or whether you're working with us at Plant Prefab, we assign you a dedicated project manager for the lifetime of your project so that you have one point of contact at all times. If you have questions about how the process is going, maybe there's a change order coming through, and with that project manager is able to give you weekly updates as well. And then warranty. We have a 10-year structural warranty. We have a 2-year fixtures warranty, a 1-year construction defect warranty, with the ability to buy a double warranty to double all of those times. So we're really serious about the quality and build of what we do. It's kind of a case study. This is a 16-unit dorm that we did for a group called Urban Adma up in Berkeley, California. So the 16 modules in our factory in Rialto were built in 3.5 months. So you can kind of see in different build phases with the flash wrapping and some of the siding at the further end. They were shipped on a Monday. As you can see, we have our guys sign everything that goes out of our shop. And then 16 units were installed in 11 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? And so there it is. You can see the finished modules already on site with the siding. That has appliances, that has flooring, that has finishes. It does not have finished paint on it yet, just because sometimes during transportation you get a little bit of drywall cracking, which is very common in any build. And so we do the finished paint afterwards. And that's what it looked like. From first swing of the hammer in our factory to occupancy was 9 months. So what are some developer scenarios that you guys might be interested in? Doing spec homes. We do a lot of work on spec. So whether that is a standard home plan that we have with Living Homes or a custom design with an architect or the developer that you have, we can help build the spec homes. Urban infill, this is getting really popular, especially in the Hollywood, Silver Lake, Echo Park areas where they're trying to do urban infills of smaller homes. And then also townhomes, where single family homes are being raised in order to put up 4 to 8 townhomes on a lot. We're getting a lot of interest in that. And then as well as mixed use, if you have somebody who wants to do a modular production on top of a podium. ADUs. I hear that this is a real hot question right now.
Yep.
Yes, right, with all the different zonings and everything. There is a ton of interest right now in the accessory dwelling units. These are two of our standard designs. One is a 400, one is a 600. But what we're finding is that each lot is different and everybody has their own demand. It's like, I want a 725 square foot ADU. And unfortunately, there's just no off-the-shelf product that's gonna meet everybody's needs. The other challenges that you're gonna find with ADUs are installation. Because these things are big modules, you're gonna need a crane and you're gonna need a site crew in order to set these things. And so everything we do with ADUs starts with a site feasibility, where we send someone from our site services team to actually go inspect the home, inspect the lot, see what type of crane we would need in order to place the ADU module in the back. And sometimes that blows the budget out of the water, unfortunately. Because we were looking at one house in Westwood, where it was a 3-story home, and the lot they wanted to put the ADU was at the very back corner of their yard, and it was gonna be a 175-foot reach from where the crane was up 3 stories and over.
Wow.
And so by the time that we found the crane that would work for them, it was half the price of the ADU unit itself.
Oh, wow.
You know, so what we're finding in terms of ADUs is new construction. So if somebody is building a new home and has the ability to put an ADU on their lot, it's really successful as a rental property and income generator and the value of your property. So for existing locations, feasibility first, and then we can kind of understand and work with you on what that client wants in order to move it forward. Yes, please.
The dimensions of your module
Yeah.
would fit on a standard size driveway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so,
You know, that will save the cost of training something. I mean, most.
yeah, a lot of it just depends, you know, because there are a lot that have kind of the driveway down the side of the property, and we could slide it back there, or if there's maybe alley access way, which is why we want to do the site feasibility, to see like what's the best way of getting this into your spot. We are a custom builder, we don't have a standard size, so if you need like an 8-foot wide, we can do that. We can go up to 16 feet wide and 60 feet long, and then, or we can put 2 8s together. We can run into some transportation issues when the wider we go, just with the California Highway Patrol requiring pilot cars, and so then it just becomes a cost exercise. So here are some of the homes that we've done with Living Homes. So this was a spec home that we did. It is a mega mansion, it's 5,000 square feet. This is in Pacific Palisades. We worked with the developer. As you see, wood and steel framing done in our factory, big movable glass walls. The patio, decking, and pool were all done on site by the site contractor. Here is the front of the house, very clean, modern look. Another interior shot. So stairways done in the factory as well, all flooring. Here you can see kind of where the modules come together. The wood paneling on the top was done in the factory. They chose to do 2 different flooring types for the walkway and the living area. We could do one all the way across. Again, more shots of the quality of the inside. So this home, we build for about $300 a square foot. That's modular cost in our factory. And it most recently sold for much, much more than that in Pacific Palisades.
Oh, yeah.
This is another home that we did. It is by the designer Ray Cappy, who is a mid-century modern classic architect here in Los Angeles. Again, great exterior wood. So here's an example of a double height space. So if somebody likes a big vaulted area, what we're actually able to do is to stack modules on top of each other and then remove the shipping floor and ceiling on the modules to get that double height. And there's the exterior of it as well. This is one of our standard homes. So this one, I believe, is actually out in Van Nuys. So this is a 3-module, 1,200 square foot home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's called our C6 model. Here's a good example of what our standard finishes look like on the inside. So this kitchen was completely done in the factory and then shipped with cabinetry, with appliances, with countertops already installed. Then some of our multifamily. This is the first ever LEED Platinum certified multifamily in San Francisco. So we've done 27 projects that have been certified LEED Platinum because we care about health and sustainability. Great townhome, again, all guardrails, stairs, floors, appliances, fixtures, finishes installed in our factory. But this is the one, it's a good look at the back room. So most people don't believe this, but we did all that tile work in the factory and shipped it. And so, which is great. It just shows that the quality and craftsmanship that we're able to not only install, but to carry over after transportation. And this is in Atwater Village. These are some townhomes that were designed by our Living Homes team as well. The way that these were built is the first floor is a garage and a bath unit, and those were done on site. So the contractor did the lower level because it didn't make sense to ship a garage because shipping air is expensive. And then we did the 2 modules on top of each. Again, left our factory 90% complete. And then this is an ADU we did. This is a show home that we did with an industrial designer named Yves Bahar. He wanted a big glass jewel box. And so it's 2 modules together that's all steel framing with wood slats on the side. This is on the higher end of the ADU market, but absolutely something that we're able to do. So I want to share some shots of what our factory looks like and kind of open it up for questions. So as you see, this is one of our standard homes going in. The siding, it's a James Hardy board that we're able to install, windows all in, waterproofing, flash wrapping all done. Our framing, both wood and steel capabilities in our factory, can be a pitched roof or a flat roof. Another misconception is that with modules you have to have a flat roof. And then here's a beautiful home being installed out in a vineyard, and you can see the use of the crane being able to put and set the modules in place on a raised foundation. Now, as a company, we have over 12 years of learning as a design studio, working with other builders, again, certified by LEED and having LEED Platinum status. We've had different design awards from Dwell and the AIA and Business Week, so we're a very well recognized designer and builder. So how can you work with us? You can choose one of our standard designs that we have on Living Homes. You can have a custom design with Living Homes or one of our design partners or an architect that you bring. And we can do your custom design to convert existing designs to modular. So we're a custom builder ready to work with your client however they want to get their project up and in the ground. And then that's one of our friends' kids, stacking blocks and building, because this is what kids do, they build with blocks. Thank you. Open it up for questions, please. I'm sure we got Fled. Yes, your hand was up first.
Yes. Regarding maintenance of the home, is the maintenance repairs, are they similar to the traditional stick-built homes, or do we need to have specialized specialists to do this kind of home?
Yeah, repairs are the exact same. Yeah, so once it gets put together, it's the same as a regular wood-framed home that you would need to have. Same materials, drywall, all that stuff.
And earlier you mentioned there's a 10-year warranty, and we can double that to make it 20-year warranty.
Correct.
But are these homes built to last? Because you know, many homes that we have in our area are built in the 1930s. And
absolutely.
They're still very strong.
Yeah.
And the survivability of your homes in an event of earthquake, because California is an earthquake
I've heard that.
country, so
Yeah.
how strong is the earthquake resistance?
Sure, absolutely. So all of our structures have to meet all local codes, whether that's fire or seismic as well. The quality of our product is actually stronger than a site built because it has to survive transportation. And so our modules are over-engineered compared to regular site-built construction. We're using heavier grade materials, 2x6s instead of 2x4s. And then as it's stitched together, everything has to go through the same structural engineering and seismic codes that a regular site-built would. Yes, please.
Are all local cities amenable to these, or?
Yeah, honestly, the only city that we've had some eyebrows raised was Montecito, up in Northern California. You know, they're just like, huh, what is this? And we're finding we're in a very big education period right now because people are looking at us as a building methodology and a solution to the housing crisis and saying, oh, how are we going to use this? How is this going to help us out to get people into homes faster? And so it's more of an education process. I wouldn't say there's been opposition to it. Yes, please.
Can you put a prefab this type of units in a home where the lot is big, or is it within code, or does the city allow to put it in the backyard of an existing home, or is there certain?
Yeah, so she's asking, can you put this on a lot with an existing home, correct? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes, especially with the ADUs. And so depending on what the zoning is of your lot, we have a lot of people who have R2 lots that have only had the single-family homes on there. And so they're looking to us as an opportunity instead of having the site disruption for months upon building a second, maybe rental unit.
But if it's an R1 already?
I'm not sure on that. I would have to look at the codes and everything. Yes, please.
Have you thought about using your prefab home as an addition to an existing home, and how would that tie in together?
Totally. Yeah, very good question. Get that a lot. You know, tying into existing construction is very difficult. You know, because if it's a home that was built in the 1930s, do you have to extend a foundation out? And can the foundation look the same way to hold the modular versus the new one? We have done some additions in the past. It's traditionally a one module addition, and it's next to. You know, it's very difficult to put something on top, you know, when it comes to this kind of stuff. New construction is always better for us, but it's a case by case for additions. Yes, please.
Is the building material from the protection of the fire on the front?
Yeah, so talking about fire protection when it comes to this. Yeah, so the materials that we're using can be specified to be as fire resistant as possible. We're doing a lot of people who lost their homes in the Malibu fires, so helping them rebuild. So we're actually incorporating more steel. We're doing a lot of steel. We're doing a lot of concrete siding. We're making sure that the ducts aren't as open and exposed to embers in case there are fires. So yeah, that we can use different fire resilient materials.
Fire resistance material?
I'm going to get to this gentleman and come back to you. Yes, please.
In the traditional house construction, we using, for instance, $200 per square foot. However, for that concept, what is it the cost per square foot?
Sure. Cost per square foot? Great question. Excuse me. For a single-family home, right now, our module costs are about $230 a square foot, but that comes finished. That's, you know, appliances, that's flooring, that's siding. And then there are additional costs for transportation and installation. We are always open to working with your clients on what that specification level is and what that finish schedule is, and just depending on what their budget can be. You know, a lot of it is we have our box framing costs, and then everything else is negotiable. You know, unfortunately, lumber costs what it costs, the labor costs what it costs. Yeah.
Steve, in terms of financing, what are the options as
Sure.
a client?
Yeah, very good question. You know, there are some lenders that are hesitant about modular construction just because we have a much more aggressive payment schedule than your traditional build, because we build so much quicker. And so if our home is going to be built in 3 months, we ask for 30 to 50% upfront for materials procurement. And some banks step away from that as too risky. That being said, we do have a lot of great lending partners that I'm able to share with clients that are more familiar with modular and see this as kind of the future of building. Good question.
Okay. Any other question?
Here, I'll come over here. Thank you.
You've mentioned some cities. It sounds like the closest around here is Van Nuys and Atwater Village. Are there any others?
Yeah, absolutely.
That are close?
Yeah, close out in this direction. So we've done 3 in Santa Monica and Venice. We have one going out in the Antelope Valley at the moment. And I can share a project list with you guys if that would be helpful to start to look. Right now, in Northern California and Southern California are our primary markets. We do have some in Arizona and Texas as well. But for around here, at least, I can share that.
Okay. I think we're running short of time. Please give him a round of applause.
I'm here to stick around.